Yes, the car will actually park itself. It's that instant torque and acceleration that you get when you plant your foot. It's just addictive. One pedal driving in this car, I absolutely love it. Really, really good for two different scenarios, really. The first one is quite obvious. It's around town. You know, that stop start in traffic, lights, off you go, and just not having to constantly switch between the brake pedal and the accelerator. It just makes city driving much more of a pleasure. But another one that I hadn't really thought about before I've had this car for a week is the kind of driving that I'm doing right now. I'm up here in the Wicklow Mountains, you know, probably only averaging about 60 kilometers an hour because it's very, very twisty roads. There's some big elevations, some big drops as well. And you find yourself on the accelerator a lot just coming out of a corner. I'm going around this corner now, it's really twisty, 35 kilometers an hour, and that's about as much as I'd want. All of a sudden, coming up to two cyclists and slow down a little bit, let them pass by. Another car up here as well, you slow right down to let them go by. And then you come out of a corner like that, give the accelerator a bit of welly, come up to your next corner and ease off again. I haven't touched the brake pedal in this car for, God, maybe I've done it once and I've forgotten, but I haven't done it for about 100 kilometers, the last 100 kilometers of this trip. I absolutely love the wing mirrors in this car. And when I say wing mirrors, of course, I mean the wing cameras. So this thing doesn't actually have mirrors. It's got a feed coming in. So there's two stalks just outside the car, and they both actually just sit just within the line of the wheel arches. So you're never going to knock them off things going by. You don't have to worry about that. But the clarity of the image in it is absolutely fantastic. And I can zoom in for you there, and just, you can see the quality of it. Now, it's a little bit off-putting at the start. I remember the first 10 or 20 minutes when I got in the car, I went out onto a main road. I felt like trucks were in the car with me. You know, it was a little bit intimidating, but you get used to it pretty quickly. And shortly after that then, heavy rain came down. And the clarity of the image when the weather was so bad outside was absolutely fantastic. I mean, far clearer than if you were just simply looking at mirrors yourself. So it's absolutely brilliant system. I have to say hats off to Honda for one exception, and that is on the right hand side when I'm holding the steering wheel at 10-2, my hand just slightly blocks off the feed coming in on the right side. It's not a big issue. You move your hand slightly, you cock your head just a little bit. Fantastic feature. I love it, Honda. Now, one of the other features that I absolutely love in the Honda is parking it. Press this little button here, screen pops up, car starts searching for parking spaces itself. To find one that you like, yeah, you know what, I like the look of this one here. Press it, tells you to apply the brake. And you press the parking button again. Tells you to take your foot off the brake. And now I'm going to zoom in a little bit and you can see what it's doing there. Yes, the car will actually park itself. It's a little bit pernickety. It takes 3 points. You know, you'd probably do this yourself a lot faster, but some people really don't like parking their car. And a feature like this is really, really going to help them. But say, it feels a little bit weird just trusting a car to park itself. I'm going to cover the brakes. Done. Car parks itself. All done. Turn her off. And go about whatever you wanted to do. Love it, Honda. Another feature that I absolutely love about the Honda E is the parking, as we've mentioned. So we saw that it parked itself. But it's not just that. Check this out. Creep forward. Now we'll put it on to full lock. Second car space over. Well, how cool is that? But we've got a motor of just over 110 kilowatts in the Honda E, and that's turning out just over 150 horsepower. So there's quite a bit of punch to this as well. You're going to get the 0 to 100 kilometer sprint in 8 seconds flat. It's the 62 miles an hour. So look, it's not Model 3 performance fast, not even close. But when you compare this to the average car on the road, and certainly when you compare this to other cars of a similar size on the road, this thing is fast. And as we all know as EV drivers and EV lovers, it's that instant torque and acceleration that you get when you plant your foot. It's just addictive. And when you're driving down mountain roads like this, especially with the one pedal driving, and you're feeling 113 kilowatts of power coming in behind you, and then even regenerating at 40 or 50 when you lean off, it's intoxicating actually. But it's also just how the car feels, how it's planted on the road. You've got independent suspension. All the four wheels are just tucked in the corners. You've got a really low center of gravity, as we get with a lot of electric cars. Just from that battery pack, 35 kilowatt hours in this case, been tucked underneath the floor of the car, and it just feels really planted. The steering is quite nimble as well. It's very, very light to the touch. I mean, I can steer with just one finger on it there. Yeah, this is a nice car. In a world obsessed with crossover SUVs, it's a breath of fresh air to have something that looks a little bit different. The Honda E may not appeal to everyone's taste, but I just love it. It doesn't have a bad or bland angle, especially when it sits on the larger 17-inch wheels. The colours are bold: crystal blue metallic, platinum white pearl and charred yellow. The Honda E's silhouette is striking. The hockey stick style C-pillar gives shape and contrast to the two-tone scheme, with the roof, closed-off grille, sills and mirror stalks all matching in a glossy piano black material. The lights are set deep into concave panels, both front and back, all focused on a circular layout that resembles the eyes of an over-enthusiastic manga character. Inside, it's like nothing we've seen before. Some rich materials complement a series of screens that spread all across the dash, bookended by the two displays that replace traditional wing mirrors. It's a refreshing design, full of character, and will capture the heart of many, me being one of them.